Good morning. Me and my girlfriend, we were out driving yesterday. I heard this report on the radio. This was Swedish public service news radio. They talked about Trump. And the report was 50% negative and 50% positive. It actually was. I was surprised. And I thought maybe they are getting scared now. Confidence in public service here in Sweden is dropping quickly. And maybe they are starting to realize that they can't tell people that Mr. Trump is bad all the time. He will be impeached any second, basically, because he is quite popular in the US. And he might run again in the next election, and it's very possible that he will win. So, I don't know if they are thinking. I know that they are scared. Yeah. Okay. And this is one of their favorites. His name is Emmanuel Macron. They love him. And I will talk about Mr. Macron. I don't know if you saw this. They have this EU summit right now in Salzburg. And the Hungarian president, Mr. Orban, was interviewed. It was like this red carpet. And he was standing there being interviewed, and behind him, behind his back, Mr. Macron was passing very quickly. And then he stopped and came back and greeted Mr. Orban. Very friendly, like, you know, we are best friends. This kind of thing. What a phony this guy is. When Macron was elected in France, I thought this was very, very bad news for France. But it turns out it's bad news for Europe. Yeah. He doesn't seem to care about France much. He cares about Europe. He's the New World Order strong guy in Europe. He's like a firefighter with lots of fires to put out all over Europe. No, Brexit, of course. And Hungary, Poland, Italy, Denmark, it's not good for the New World Order plans, what's going on in Denmark. So he's got lots of work to do. And I have some quotes here from the EU summit, from Mr. Macron. He says, Europe is not a menu à la carte, it's a political project. And at the press conference following the meeting, he acknowledged that about the migration crisis. He acknowledged that there is a crisis and there are tensions. And then he said, who generates them? Clearly putting the blame on guys like Orban and the Poles and so on. Well, he is actually generating them. Is keeping the borders open. That's what's generating tensions and crisis. But he's blaming the nationalists, of course. And he also said about leaders who tell me, this is a fucking stupid quote, I have to read it. He says, the leaders who tell me that they love Europe when it gives me money, when it makes my people prosperous, when it allows my workers to make better living in neighboring countries, but at home will not take a single migrant, not a single refugee. That's what he said. Countries that do not want more Frontex or solidarity will leave Schengen. He's now threatening these countries. Schengen, I don't know if you know about Schengen. It means free travel within the EU for everybody, basically. So countries that do not want more Frontex. Frontex is the EU border police. It's a joke, Frontex. All they do is getting more people in, So countries that do not want more Frontex or solidarity will leave Schengen. countries that don't want more Europe will no longer get access to structural funds. That's what he's told journalists. Yeah. And then he was talking about the EU Parliament elections. He said that next year's vote would be an historic fight and an election like no other, as it would determine whether the political project led by the founding fathers will prevail. You see? It's all about New World Order for this guy. And I think he's dangerous. He came from nowhere, this guy. And he became the French president. Supported by very, very wealthy people. Yeah. Okay. That's all. I wish you a good Sunday. Bye.